I am planning to do a lesson with my students where they are drawing from a reference and they have to scale up. So they're trying to maintain proportion and as best as they can copy the details. We did a trial on this. It was a worksheet. So some of the concepts they are familiar with. The worksheet they worked through already had a quadrant drawn for them, help divide their reference into 4 sections, and then their drawing section, their drawing portion was already divided up. So I'm piggybacking off of that knowledge, those funds of knowledge, and share how that went. What is another way that I could divide this up? Ooh, say it again. A ruler. Okay, so I didn't provide myself a ruler. I'm going to borrow one of these. Thank you. Technically, this paper should be 9 by 12 inches. So if I want to double check that and make sure indeed it is that measurement. Okay, so right here, this is 12 inches. So what would be the halfway point? Half of 12 is 6. Okay, you know what? I'm not just going to mark it one time. I kind of marked it at the top, and I'm going to mark it here towards the bottom of the page. Should I make this line, this mark, really, really dark? Should I just make it real dark, like a really dark line? No. Okay, this, what we're setting up here is a guideline. It's not part of the finished project. And in fact, it's something, if you remember that screen I had up before, it's a guideline that eventually we want to erase. We don't want that to be left on our final drawing. Okay, so it's probably a little challenging for you to see because I drew lightly. Can you kind of see the line? I want to be able to erase it. If it helps you to turn your paper and divide it that way, you can, or you can leave your paper like this. So this is 9 inches. What is half of 9? If you divide 9 in half, what do you get? So close. One more inch to that. Yeah. 4.5. 4.5. Okay, or 4.5. And I turn my ruler this way and I lightly draw my line and divide up my paper. Okay. Other question, ready? If you selected a reference picture to draw and your paper is going this direction, your drawing paper should go that direction. Don't do this. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'll show you. So if your paper is going that direction, then your drawing paper needs to be that direction as well. What are those words? It's on your phone camera if you're going to take a picture. If it's this direction, it's portrait. Yes, if it's this direction, it's landscape. But good job getting portrait. Yeah, so portrait or landscape. So look at the picture that you selected to draw. If it's landscape, like this group of weird looking dogs, then that's how you want your drawing paper to be. If you selected the snail on a skateboard or that bird in a cage, the minion that some people are saying is not a minion, but I feel like it's a minion. I think it's a minion. Okay. Whatever that creature is that's riding a motorcycle, he's really hairy and has sawed down teeth. Okay. If you picked that one, then your paper should go this direction. It should be portrait. All right. As I reflect, I believe this revamp gradually releases responsibility. We worked from my students' funds of knowledge that were presented and practiced the day before. And when the students were asked about dividing up the paper, this time they offered a solution of using a ruler to divide it into 4 sections. This was after a few had folded the papers in the classroom. This connects to my pedagogy because I'm instructing and demonstrating, but also presented a problem where students were able to come up with the solution and practice their problem-solving skills by asking them, how can we divide this paper into 4 sections without folding it?
I believe this part of the lesson allowed my students to reflect on previous experience and apply it to this lesson or apply it to this assignment. They were actively participating. Previously would have just taken my students through the steps of dividing up the page and just explaining why we're doing it this way. So in terms of Frey and Fisher's findings. And then I know if I just walked through the class, walk them through measuring and drawing the lines to divide the paper, that is a transitional approach. But by giving the students opportunities to figure something out and have the materials in hand, it became a transmission approach.